So coming to the next pattern, this is what I'm expecting. So on my screen, I want 25 stars in this particular pattern. So if you now count, you have 5 stars in every row and you have 5 rows like that. So 5 cross 5, you have around 25 stars. So before I move forward, I would like to tell to all my viewers that if you have come directly to this video, please make sure that you have watched all the other previous videos so that you have a better understanding. Now, coming back to this pattern, now this may look complicated, but it is not as complicated as it looks. So the way in which you look tells everything. So in the previous pattern, I have now told you how to print a single line. The same thing should now be repeated. So if I now have to print a single line of stars like this, I know what is the code. So I will simply write the code like this: for int I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus. Inside this, I will now tell system dot out dot print like this. Now this piece of code will only give you a single line of stars, 5 stars. The same thing I now have to repeat every time. So if I have to repeat every time, what I can do is I can now write this piece of code again another 4 times. But like I've told you, you as a programmer should never write repeated code. So henceforth, what you should now do, put this entire code inside another for loop. So what I will do is I will now put this entire piece of code inside one more for loop like this. This for loop should run how many times? This for loop should now run again 5 times. So I will now tell int, maybe some other variable name I will take like j is equals to 1. How many times should I now repeat this? 5 times. So I will tell j less than or equals to 5, and every time please increment. So I will tell j plus plus. If you now write this much, will it work? Yes, it will work, but however, there is one small flaw in this. What is that if you now ask me? Since you have now told print, all the 25 stars will now come one beside the other. So after you print 5 stars, you now have to bring the cursor to the next line. So if you want to bring the cursor to the next line, what you have to do? You now have to use system.out.println. So should I now replace this print with println? 100% it won't work. Then what to do? After you print, just make the cursor to the next line. So what you have to do is outside this for loop, the one that I've written in the black pen, outside that for loop, you now have to bring the cursor to the next line. So what I will do is I will now come outside the for loop. I will now tell system dot out dot print ln here. What I have to print? I don't want to print anything. Just bring the cursor to the next line. So I'll just leave it empty. After that, I will now close the for loop. If you now write this much, 100% you will now be getting that following pattern. Really, will it work? Let's check it out.